Say hello, everybody.
Very much in medieval Dublin here.
Bailey's coffee. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag.
1, 2, 3, slaughter! Go!
Hello everybody, it's day 3. It's day 3 in Dublin and I'm here with a portion of our group. Say hi everybody! Oh, no, Brian got up. There's Mark. We are getting ready to go on our walking tour of Dublin. So we're going to see some sights and sounds. And then this afternoon we'll be doing the Guinness tour. So it's going to be another fun-filled day of exploring Dublin. So let's go.
Okay, me too.
We are on our way. We're on our walking tour is just beginning. Say hello, everybody.
I'm a national tour guide and I'm going to bring you on a walking tour of Dublin now, and I'm going to bring it to some of the quirkier places in Dublin as opposed to the ones that everybody goes to.
Love.
Have a slightly quirkier look at Dublin, because I understand you were all attracted by a common theme, and that is a love of vintage shopping. Maybe not you all, at least half of you. I can let you into a secret. €15 last Saturday.
Oh, nice.
I've just been asked which side of the footpath do we walk on. Footpath, which side of the sidewalk do we walk on? We don't have a defined side of the footpath to walk on in Ireland, so we like to engage with people.
It's every man for themselves.
Yeah, we're a very kind of human city. We don't like there to be strangers among us. We like to get to know everybody, so part of it is bumping into people. But you will find that in Dublin, and you find that people like to engage in conversation in Dublin, even if you're just buying a pack of gum in a convenience store. If you say, that's a chilly day, you find yourself in a conversation with somebody and you'll get to know them a little bit. And we like that. We like to engage with people. So people will nod at you on the street and you wonder, why is that fellow nodding at me? It's because they want, people are friendly, just generally friendly. Doesn't mean they're going to invite you around to dinner, but they're friendly. Very much in medieval Dublin here. This was part of the liberties, as I was saying. What were the liberties? Well, the liberties were the area outside the city walls. So the city walls effectively were over here, and all this area here was the people who lived. They didn't have to obey the bylaws of the city, they didn't have to pay the city taxes, but they lived outside the protection of the city as well. So it was a more lawless area of the city. It was a more kind of free-flowing area of the city, outside the city here in the Liberties, and it gained the name the Liberties because the laws were different. They were free from those laws. So your hotel, as I was saying, is in the Liberties. Now this cathedral is Dublin's second medieval cathedral. The work commenced on this cathedral in 1191. So in the end of the 12th century. But it was the second cathedral of the city. The first one was inside the city walls, Christ Church Cathedral, which we're going to see in a moment or two. And that was built on initially by the Vikings, who were the first people to build a cathedral in the city. And in fact, Christ Church Cathedral is the last remaining cathedral in Europe that's that's founded by the Vikings. It's the last remaining one. But this is the second one. Why do we have two cathedrals within a couple of hundred meters of each other in the medieval city? Well, Christ Church Cathedral became a monastic cathedral. It was run by monks, and it had a very, very devout religious order running the cathedral. And a new archbishop came in, Archbishop Coleman, in the end of the 1100s. He was given the Archbishopric of Dublin. He went in, no, I'm not living in a monastery, thank you very much. He was very much more a kind of worldly man than that. And also he's a very, very wealthy man, and he decided he was going to establish his own cathedral on the outskirts of the city and take the revenues coming from that and live in relative freedom on the outside of the city. So he began construction on St. Patrick's Cathedral. Now, why did he choose this site? The reason he chose the site was it's commemorated on this little plaque here. Near here is the reputed site of the well where St. Patrick baptised many of the local inhabitants in the 5th century AD. Patrick left Ireland on a ship. He was taken away and he went off to France. He ended up in France, where he realised that in his heart he had to bring Christianity to the people of Ireland. And he became a priest, studied to be a priest, and then returned to Ireland to bring Christianity to Ireland. And hence he became Ireland's patron saint. And he successfully brought Christianity to Ireland without so much as a martyr. It is the only conversion of an entire people that happened without any martyr, without someone being killed in the process as a consequence of religious difference. So he did so in very clever ways. And he did it by he approached the aristocracy, the royalty and the aristocracy, converted them. And then their children were converted, and that it spread outwards from there. And he was teaching the High King the significance of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, all in the one God. And the king wasn't getting the message, as many of us didn't. And Patrick knelt down, he picked up a shamrock, which has 3 leaves on the one stem, and he said that is to demonstrate the Trinity to the king. He demonstrated the shamrock. And if you look at the lampposts outside on the street here, and as we go through those silver lampposts, they all have shamrocks in them, in the curlicue at the top. And as you go on, it's a national symbol of Ireland, one of our national symbols of the shamrock. The cathedral, as I said, was commenced in the 1190s. Probably its most famous moment in its lifetime was when Jonathan Swift, the great writer, was the dean of the cathedral. And Jonathan Swift was the son of a solicitor. His father died when Jonathan was still in the womb. His father died of syphilis. He told Jonathan Swift's mother that he picked it up from dirty linen in the inns he was staying in, because he was a travelling solicitor. Not sure how she believed him, but yeah.
It's a good story.
So that's St. Patrick's Cathedral. Jonathan Swift, of course, the thing he's most remembered for is Gulliver's Travels, his satirical book about political systems around the world, which he wrote while he was Dean of St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Oh, wow.
And he did most of his writings while Dean of St. Patrick's Cathedral, because he lived most of his life here. Yeah. This is the original medieval cathedral in Dublin. This cathedral here was built in the early 1100s. It was only built 60 years before St. Patrick's Cathedral. And in fact, it wasn't even 60 years. It was only a generation before St. Patrick's Cathedral that this cathedral was built. This was built at a moment in time between 2 different architectural styles. If anybody's done any study of art history, you'll have gone from the Romanesque style of architecture with the roundy arches to the Gothic style of architecture with the pointy arches. And that was a moment in architectural history. It was a transformative moment. And if you look at this church, you can see on the transept, this is the south transept we're looking at here, with the creamy coloured window frames, that they have roundy arches. And if you look at the rest of the building, you can see it's all got pointy arches. And that was where some guy came over from France and went, "Stop! Stop!
This is the new way.
There's a new way of doing this. If we build pointy arches, we can build taller walls, and we can build them thinner, and we can use less materials." And they went, "Oh no, that's rubbish. I don't hold with these modern architecture, you know." And they eventually built the cathedral this way. In fact, actually, this side of the cathedral is a reconstruction, collapsed in the 1600s. This wall here collapsed into the cathedral and smashed the entire cathedral. And included in the devastation of the cathedral was the destruction of a tomb, which was on the aisle of the cathedral, and that was the tomb of Strongbow. And Strongbow led the Norman invasion of Ireland, the English invasion of Ireland in the 1100s. He was the knight who led that invasion, and he was buried in the cathedral as a consequence of his great victory, his great military victory here. And he became an important part of everyday Dublin life. If you were a businessman in Dublin, you'd go into St. Patrick's Cathedral if you're going to do a deal. There are very few places in a city, a small, crowded medieval city, where you can get a bit of shelter from the rain or the wind or the cold, and you can have a chat and do a deal. It's in a little bit private, so Cathedral actually became that place. It became a meeting place in the city.
We stopped into a little Parisian coffee spot. We're gonna have a little bit of coffee, caffeine, and then we're gonna finish our tour. I think we're gonna go back to the Dublin Castle, just on the outside of it. We went to that yesterday, but It's been pretty interesting, and our guide is so lovely. And I'm gonna try something new for the very first time. I'm gonna have, on recommendation from Miss Audrey Patterson, and treated by Susan, Daryl, no, Brent. I'm gonna call you Daryl the whole time, Brent.
Daryl and my other brother.
Daryl and my other brother Daryl and Susan were so gracious enough to buy me a very first time. I'm going to try a coffee with Bailey's. So we're gonna find out how we like it. Okay. Irish cream, no. Bailey's coffee. Plus, do we leave the message? and O'Sheila's. But you got Americano, right?
I just got a mullet.
Okay, it's good. Now we gotta go back on our tour. But now we're all caffeinated up.
Normally I drink beer.
Left to lose with or without you.
Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Oh, love. Oh my gosh, we were as a group, otherwise we would. I don't know if I want to hold a pigeon.
I'm not sure.
I mean, the thought sounds nice, but I don't know.
Regiments of the British Army that were raised in Ireland during when we were still governed from Britain. So you have all these Irishmen joining the British Army, but they would join an Irish regiment that was raised in Ireland. And this commemorates the ones who fought in the Boer War. The Boer War was a war fought in South Africa between 1898 and 1902. And these guys were all killed in the Boer War. The guys are mentioned in the inside of the arch there.
On the gates right here is the Prime Minister. I guess it would be like the Prime Minister's building. The Prime Minister, that's where he works out of, basically. We're still on our tour, and I'm not getting everything because some of you may not want to see everything. We are going to be doing a little bit of shopping here in a little bit, but one of the things that we've noticed is that there aren't high sky rises. I mean, Dublin is the capital of Ireland, and there isn't any like sky rise high buildings. And the thing of it is, it makes it seem more like a community. It's more quaint, so you just kind of feel like, I don't know, you get a little bit more sense of community than it just being like a big city with sky rises. And so I don't know, there's just something really nice about it, I think. Right there was Oscar Wilde's home at the time.
Yeah, Oscar Wilde, he was born in Dublin. His parents were both very intellectual people. His father, William Willswide, was an eye surgeon. He was Queen Victoria's eye surgeon. He established the Eye and Ear Hospital in Dublin. But he was also an archaeologist, he was a folklorist, he was a historian.
This is Molly Malone. You're supposed to touch her boobies, but you want to touch her boobies, Brent?
Get up there.
Brent, get in there.
Sorry if I'm disturbing anybody's.
There you go, Brent.
Okay.
Brent's gonna get in there.
Here we go.
There you
The
go.
Molly statue. Hello,
Yay,
Molly. Hello, Molly. Hello, Molly.
I found fromagerie, cheese, Jesus. Oh, and oh my Lanta, pickles, olives. Look at Mark's like, hurry up, Misty. We only have so much time. Okay, I'm gonna get some olives. We're eating lunch at Fallon and Burn, so it's like a deli. It's called the Italian Job. It's on this ricotta bread. All that mozzarella, it's so good. And the pesto, look. And guess who likes the olives in Ireland? That guy. He does not like olives at all. They're good, aren't they? And we got some crisps. They are excellent. And I got some cheese, you know. I had to. It was a very, very good lunch. We might have time to maybe go into one or two little shops, but then we're getting ready to go to the Guinness tour. Our walking tour was very, very informative. I didn't like film it all because it might be boring to some people, but when we travel, we love to learn about the history and the culture and how the city came to be. And so I highly recommend doing some sort of a tour where you can learn a little bit more about where you're at. So it's been a fun trip with the gang. Okay, we are now at the Guinness storeroom. So we just scanned our tickets and we're gonna explore a little bit here in Guinness. We're gonna try some Guinness. I am not a beer drinker, but when in Dublin, you do a Guinness. So it's gonna be fascinating to see how it's made, and there's a lot of little photo ops, and so it's, like I said, it's one of the top places here in Dublin that you must visit, according to the internet. So we'll see. We're going up. This is the storehouse where almost a century the magic process of fermentation took place. The journey begins here. Ooh, look at this. Wow. Barley, barley, barley. Hops. Yeast. She's a maniac. Oh, look at you can see the harp. You can see the harp. Oh, there's the Guinness. 95% water.
I know. I couldn't shut it off. I had to tell you. Okay, the Guinness cups are cool.
Water. Oh, that is so cool. It's like we're in a spa. You could lay down. Look, you could lay down there and take you a little nap. Listen to, no, don't do that, but you know what I mean. It's very peaceful sounding in here. So in 1759, Arthur Guinness founded the Guinness Brewery here at St. James Gate. Louis Pasteur discovered how fast yeast fermentation. 1893, Thomas Case was the first scientific brewer to be appointed to the Guinness Brewery. 1903, a yeast library was established at the St. James Gate. They've used the same strain in our stout since then. Today, research has revealed that at least 38% of Guinness yeast is of unknown origin, making it truly unique. It's stored in liquid nitrogen. It's a yeast. This is the good kind of yeast. Wow. It does. We've used the same strain since 1903. Who would have thought that being in a room full of yeast would be so magical? But it is. Barrel. The roasting room. Oh, look at all the little lamps. Wow, so we got the Gans Mill, 1958. I love that. Heavy-duty triple ram pump was used to circulate the yeast through coolers and vessels in the storehouse. Here's the barley.
Yeah, we're gonna walk in fields of barley.
Walk in fields of barley.
Roast at exactly 232 degrees. Any higher, the barley catches fire. Any lower, the beer won't develop its unique character. It's It's our roasted barley that gives Guinness its iconic color, taste, and aroma.
Now time for fermentation. It's very sciencey, beer making is, you know? But it's neat that they have like some actual like artifacts of like the early days of making the beer. And again, I gotta show you, I love the face plates. The British Thompson Houston Company Limited. 300 million bubbles in every pint. Started introducing nitrogen in 1959. Oh, look at the bubbles! 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 Nitrogen, actually. This is a big copper kettle. 1878, the copper acted as a kettle in which the wort, the sugary substance used to make beer, was boiled with hops. Each copper could hold 172,800 pints of of peat-field fired and subsequently coal-fired furnaces. That's huge. You could actually go inside of it. That's where all the nitrogen bubbles are. So you look up there at all of the tubes and valves and everything. And look at the ceiling. Do you see the brick? It's so cool. Look at this big barrel. It's so neat to see all the little details like that. Every day at 10 a.m., a small team of expert taste testers here at St. James Gate check each and every brew of Guinness for quality consistency. Somebody's got to do it. Really see, like, this is the barrel that we were just in. You can see that copper, like a big copper still over there. It's really neat to see on the outside. Now we're gonna continue our tour this way, but they have these enameled bricks that are up on the ceiling as well in those rooms too, which is really neat to see. All right, so now, oh, we got some more barrels. Roll out the barrels, we'll have a barrel of fun. And I love all of the, see the pulley sign, the faceplate. I like all of the faceplates that are on the machinery. That always catches my eye. You can see all the barrels here, and they're talking about the way that the barrels were made. Talk about coopering. And coopering was actually an ancient, they've just been around since Egyptian times. And then over here on the wall, they've got a lot of the tools. Things. Cask in the cradle and the silver spoon. You know me, I'm going to find something that's going to turn into a song. Okay, are you having a good time?
Yes.
We're sitting down and resting. The thing of it is, here at the Guinness, there's several different floors, and then so we can break off as a group, and everyone can kind of look at things at their own pace. That's the really nice thing about group travel, is that we have a lot of activities that we do together, but you do still have the freedom that you can go off and do your own thing as well. And then we have assigned times where we can meet up. Some people can go back and do other things if they want to. We have dinner tonight, so it just really takes a lot of the what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? It's all done for us, which makes it incredibly nice.
It's all planned, but there's
a lot of
space in there to do your
yeah.
own
There's
thing.
a lot of freedom. There's a lot of still things that you can do together as a group. But this is my first Trova trip, and so far 10 out of 10.
It's been great.
10 out of 10. It's been amazing. So we're just kind of getting a little load off of our feet. I want to say one thing that we learned. There are two things that we've learned so far staying in Ireland, and this could be a whole European thing. It could be an Ireland thing. I don't know. But the sink. When we go to the next hotel that we're staying at tomorrow night, I'm curious to see if the sinks are low. The sinks are very low, and they do not have what we call a washcloth in the shower. Luckily, I brought one from home to wash my face.
What'd you call them?
They call them flannels, and they do not provide them in the hotel. So travel
She said
tip.
it's a very grandmothery thing.
Yeah.
Very old-fashioned.
Travel tip. Bring a washcloth for your shower. Otherwise, you're just lathering it. I smell chocolate now.
I do too. They, I think they pump in a lot of flavors around here.
Oh, it smells so good. Anyway, bring a washcloth because otherwise you're going to be lathering it up with your hands and soap.
What's the other things we learned?
Well, also you bring shampoo and conditioner because in the they only have your shampoo and your body wash. It's all one. There's no conditioner. So I knew that.
No, but what's the other thing that we learned today?
I don't know.
Well,
You
there's a
said.
couple other things. Everybody jaywalks.
Everybody jaywalks, but that's not.
You just have to look the opposite direction or you'll get smashed.
Look both ways. Just look both ways. You know, we learned that when we're little. Look both ways before you cross the street. Just look both ways.
But
you know,
always
they
look the
drive
wrong
on
way first.
They drive on the other side of the road. What's
The other thing is that on the city buses, you have to hail the buses. They won't, even if you're at the stop,
They won't
they'll
stop.
just pass right by you.
So you have to hail them like you would hail a taxi. You got to hail the bus.
And they won't stop at the stops. You've got a little button inside of the bus that says
where you
stop
wanna
at the next stop.
So, luckily though, the Irish people have been so incredibly nice. But again, that's kind of the beauty about doing group travel because our guide, our local guide, lets us know what customary things are, things to avoid, things to do. So it's really, really helpful to be able to do that and feel like you're not gonna, stick out like a sore thumb, and you kind of know what is appropriate and how to get around. Sure. So anyway, all right. We're just going to take a little bit of a break, and then we will continue on with our tour. And then we're going to taste some, and I don't like beer, but I'm going to do it. And they say, okay, so another tip. To take a little bit of the bitterness out of the Guinness to act for a Guinness with black. And that's another thing that we learned from Ruth, our guide. So you get Guinness with black, they add a little bit of black currant into it, and it takes the bitterness out. So that's what I'm going to do.
Guinness is very low bitterness anyway, but we'll see what it does to it.
Are you going to do it? Or are you just going to get... Oh, okay. I am. One fun thing that you can do is you can turn your selfie into a stoutie. So you can actually have your portrait in the foam of your Guinness. This is a very nicely curated museum. There's just a lot of room to explore. And again, you can see a lot of this equipment. Okay, we're heading our way into the tasting rooms. It's like we're in a little vortex. We're going into the Guinness vortex. I feel like we're at a ride at Disneyland. We're gonna go on a Guinness ride. Guinness Mountain. Part of the experience is you get to have a little tiny taste of beer. The legal drinking age in Ireland is 18. It's 18, guys. All right, we're not allowed to drink this in this room. We have to go over to the next room. Oh boy. Oh, we got these fancy guys in here. Oh, okay. Oh, so we can have a little photo op, kind of a photo op type thing with our glasses. Okay, a little glass up there.
Buddy, guys, come on in. You're very welcome to the Velvet Chamber, one of my favourite rooms in the building. My name is Daniel. One or two more. Come on in, guys. Oh, it's only Elaine. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Daniel.
So, I'm going to talk to you about this room, guys. Okay. Now, we'll get to the beer tasting in just a wee second. Don't drink it yet. Okay. First, you just need to know some of the cool stuff in this room. Okay. So we've called it the Velvet Chamber, guys. This room is a replica of what Arthur Guinness, our founder's study, would have looked like in his old house in the 1700s. You know what I mean? So picture Arthur Guinness, late 1700s, sitting there writing all his different recipes for his beers in a room just like this. For those of you who don't know who Arthur Guinness is, despite him being the reason you're all here, there he is in the back wall. Go and meet him, okay? So that is Arthur Guinness. He was born in 1725. That's the only portrait of the man in the world. He was a very busy man, so he couldn't be posing for oil paintings all day, could he? What made him so busy? Not only was he looking after what would become one of the most successful breweries in the world, he also had 21 children to raise. Him and his wife, 21 kids. Yeah. She was pregnant for over 16 years, and she gave birth to every single one of them. No twins, no triplets, guys. Now the beautiful thing about having 2 football teams worth of children is that you've got lots and lots of people to pass your brewery on to, don't you? So in 1803, Arthur passed away at the ripe old age of 78. Not bad if you're born in the 1700s, must admit. And the brewery passed to his son. So the furthest portrait away from me on the wall there, that's Arthur II. He's the man who took over after his dad. He's the man responsible for making Guinness the darker style of beer that we know today. He was 15 years old in that photo. No, I'm only joking. And then the closest to us, so the fella closest to us with the big lovely mutton chop sideburns in his face there, that is Benjamin Lee. That's his son, right? So he's the man responsible for trademarking the harp as the Guinness logo. Alright? Father, son, grandson. 3 legacies combined to help Guinness on the road to become the powerhouse brand we know it as today. But that's enough of the history, guys. You're all staring at me like, can I drink the beer now? Oh, let's drink the beer. So, let me teach you a technique, guys. It's called the retro-nasal technique. It's employed by our quality control team every single day, and you can already anticipate now it's going to involve the mouth, right? So, let me teach you the steps, and then we'll practice. Your first step, guys, if you've ever been to a tasting, they're all the same, really. It's a generous smell. Okay. Your second step, guys, and for the sake of your sample size, is a generous mouthful. For the sake of your sample size, about half, at least a third, okay? So you're going to hold that for about 3 seconds on your palate, moving it around. When you do come to swallow the beer, keep your mouth nice and closed, and after you've swallowed the beer, I want you to exhale out your nose, okay? So if you haven't done that yet, guys, let's give it a go. So remember, big smell, followed by a big mouthful, about half, didn't we say? On the palate for about 3 seconds, swirl it around, swallow with the mouth nice and closed, and then exhale out the nose. If you've done that correctly, guys, what you should be getting is the sweetness of the malted barley.
It's not
That should be the first sensation, okay? Followed by maybe the coffee-like dark feel of the roasted barley in the middle and the sides. The last sensation
I don't like the aftertaste.
Is the dry bitter finish of the hops.
I don't like that. I don't like the hops.
If you're going, I'm not sure I've done that correctly, you have a full pint of Guinness waiting for you upstairs.
Okay.
Practice as much as you want.
I don't like the aftertaste. It's the aftertaste I don't like.
If you have any Guinness left in your glass at all, let's drink it together. Does anybody know what we say for cheers here in Ireland? Sláinte! And it means health. So guys, if you have any Guinness left, raise it up to the roof, and on the count of 3 to each other's health. 1, 2, 3, Sláinte! Go for it, guys. Get it down, yes. It's good.
We already drank ours.
Once
Cheers.
the beer is gone, guys, our time.
Okay, so I'm not a beer drinker, but honestly, it's the aftertaste, it's the hoppiness at the end that I don't like. But honestly, I don't hate it. Do you turn into a beer drinker once you turn 50? I mean, I used to drink beer in college, but for a completely different reason, you know what I mean? But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Now this exhibit is the world of Guinness advertising, and this is the Guinness harp. So it's the famous downhill harp dating back to 1702. It was purchased by Guinness in 1963 to ensure it continued its preservation. It was made of Cormac O'Kelly Ballock screen, and it played by the blind harpist Empson in the 18th century. It serves as the brand's famous emblem. It's a depiction of a medieval Irish instrument known as the O'Neill or Brian Boru harp. It's currently housed in Trinity College, Dublin. The original was made around the 14th century, although the identity of the craftsmen and their other patron are lost in time. So the Guinness first adopted the image in 1862. Though in 1923, the Irish Free State government chose it as the symbol of the nation of Ireland, and they had to do it. They had to reverse it, so they had to make it go the left, and the symbol of Ireland is facing to the right. So it's still pretty cool to see, and you can see up here dragon. That's pretty cool to see. This is just whimsical and fun. Look at this. It's a little. So these are like different advertisement pieces come to life, like the ostrich head. You can see. Oh, that guy is cool. Look at him. Look at him. His little hats come on. So you can see the advertisement over here. So they've just kind of brought them to life with these like big iconic statues. Turtle here with the Guinness on top of the shell. That's so cute. I have some of these fun vintage advertisements. I love that guy, the harp right there. And see, you can see the toucan. And some of the cans. I'm assuming that they had to stop doing like these cartoony images because they look like they're for kids. See? I want to drink a Guinness, Ma. I want to drink a Guinness. They look like they're, for kids. My goodness, my Guinness. Opening time is Guinness time. Advertisement piece was used in 1996, and it kind of coins the phrase, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. He's so cute. Look at his little mouth opens. Very odd. Get a little bit better picture of his little face. Ow! Guinness. Good. Well, look at how good I am, Mark. I'm a natural. There's a couple different levels of bars that you can go into. The one that we were just in where the music was playing is one of them, and then we are going to actually go up and we're going to see, because it gets kind of crowded, but they do have a rooftop bar, and if anything, to go up there and see the view. So we're going to see. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a table, but when you do come to Guinness, then you do get you get your tasting, and you also get a complimentary stout or pint. So this is the Sky Bar. And look at the view from up here. Oh wow! It's incredible. Now you do get a drink voucher with your admission ticket, and you can get a pint. They do have non-alcoholic. They also have sodas, water. They call it clear Guinness. I'm gonna get mine with currant, black currant in it, and see if it changes the bitterness out of it. No tables available. It's hard to find a table, but the trick, and this is one thing that Ruth told me, is to get the black currant in your Guinness, and it takes out the bitterness, and she was correct. Cheers, Mark. We are walking back after the Guinness, and we stumbled upon a cemetery, or what we think might be cemetery. Might just be monuments. I can't read it. It might be. Are they in Gaelic? So, we gotta. You can't even read them. They're. Wait. Here lies the remains. I'm just trying to age 87. Also, who died.
Okay, this is what we need to read.
Here.
In the mortal remains of Mrs. Albright
Carson, who departed.
This light.
At 73 years. I want to see when she died. It's so hard to tell. Here's the church right there. So yeah, like, you can't even read them. They're that old. But, it's a good idea to go down some side streets and find these places. My goodness. There's more over here. Let's see if any of these can be read. There's the church. I am not certain what church this is because we're on the back end of it. Oh, St. Catherine's Church. Thank you, sign. Here's your sign. Let's see, here's one. Age 4 years. Oh. Carol. 1837. 1837. This one, 4 years, 1837. Bless her heart. I couldn't read her name though. I wanted to be able to say her name. Sometimes, and when I'm editing, I will see the name a little bit more clearer, or maybe you guys can see the name, and it's okay to say her name out loud. Wow. And it's a beautiful little courtyard. There's also monuments here against the wall too. Could you read any of those? Well, we'll see about these. But yeah, just we noticed these on walking on our way home. There's more. There's more over here too. William Morris.
Yeah.
Susan Morris. Golly. I can't.
Really hard to read.
They are so hard to read. They were lovely in life
And
in death. They were not separated, for of such is the kingdom of
heaven?
heaven. Looks like 1830 something. January 18. Oh, it says 10 months. Oh. I wonder if these were moved.
Yeah, I would say so.
Maybe we can read this one. Here's the body of Thomas Villigen.
1783.
1783. It says something, city of Dublin. Shoe to the departed life. 1783. Wow. Yeah, we don't know if this is
in the United States, but like in the United States, typically if it's in a limestone like it is here, and not a precious stone, that it's
common.
Like a commoner.
I don't know if any of these are
There's a sign
legible. The burial place of Alexander Mills. Look at the scratches on it. That's a little hole. I don't know what that's all about.
Trying to get out.
This stone marks the resting place of the remains of Mr. Alexander Mills, who was for 36 years masters of the boys' school and teacher of the male adult class in the Sunday school of St. Catherine's Parish, who died the first day of June.
It's birthday.
My birthday. Okay, what have you learned? Anything from this sign? See, you always look for signs first, but we don't always see the signs first.
Right here. Not there.
Oh, yeah, it's in Gaelic over there. So this church, St. Catherine's Church and Graveyard.
So there was a church here from the 12th century.
12th century.
That's not the church from the 12th century.
The church was closed to the Church of Ireland in 1966 to responsive difficulties in maintaining the city's central churches at a time of dwindling numbers of parishioners. After a number of years of decline and disrepair, the church was restored and reconcentrated in 1998. Consecrated, not concentrated. The graveyard, which is now owned by Dublin City Council, was opened as a park in 1986. The church and graveyard lies close to the site of the medieval abbey of St. Thomas the Matriarch, founded by royal charter in 1177. So this is what kind of the parish looked like back in the time. It was huge. Outside of the, I believe, probably outside. Do you think this was outside of the Dublin Wall?
I don't know. Probably yes.
Maybe. Where the commoners, which would make sense because of the limestone graves, but a nice little park. Again, we're trying to like go down, we're on our way back to the hotel, to walk down some local streets to just kind of take in the sights away from the congested areas. It takes a little bit longer to get back, but you can come across little things like this. See, you're walking down these side streets, you run across the locals, and it's just nice to kind of, you know, not be in the touristy hustle and bustle. I mean, obviously you got to make sure that you're careful. I would not go alone. We are during the day, but Dublin is theoretically a pretty safe city, but you know, safety in numbers. It's always a good idea to walk with a buddy, but you know, going down these alleyways and the side streets, you can come across things that most people maybe don't know about, and it's just very interesting to see. There's this beautiful church here. We are ending our night at the Millstone restaurant here in Dublin, and I have a porn star martini, and it is delicious. I'm gonna show you. Don't ask me what's in it, I don't know, but it's very, very good. It's very, very good. Vodka and passion fruit. So I'm going to end, well actually no, I'm not going to end the video because we might go listen to some music. So I will eat, and if we get to go listen to some traditional Irish music, then I will pop in to share that with you as well. So we're going to have our dinner and then go explore a little bit more. Well, don't mind me. I'm up here in my pajamas. Mark's already laid down. I forgot to end the video, so I needed to do that tonight, right now. But we went live. It was a lot of fun. I just felt like I wanted to go live. I felt just like the urge to go live so you could experience what we were experiencing and felt like you were with us. So that meant a lot to me. So if you were joined, thank you. I know it was probably a little crazy and I was just a little off the cuff, but it is what it is. But thank you guys so much for traveling. This was a long video. I haven't even edited it yet, but I know that it's going to be a long one. Tomorrow we'll be getting on the bus and going on to Killarney and to see the Rock of Cashel. So I'll be able to get a lot of the countryside and a lot of basically getting out of Dublin and really seeing the countryside. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Thank you so much. It's been a really, really fun week, and I hope that you are enjoying these videos. I know that not everybody wants to watch the travel videos, but I'm just trying to fit in as much things as I can to share with you as well. So I hope that you do enjoy them. But I'm going to go ahead and go to bed because we got an early morning. Say goodnight, Mark.
Good night.
And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Hi friends, I am so excited to invite you to come along with me on a holiday adventure through Germany and beyond. We're gonna start out in Berlin and we're gonna soak in the music, the lights, and the festive food that make the German Christmas markets world famous. And then we're gonna be off to Dresden, the European capital of Christmas, where every street feels like a fairy tale. But it doesn't end there. Next, we're going to go into the Czech Republic. Hello, thermal spas. We'll be wrapping up our trip in the medieval city of Prague. The twinkling lights, the mulled wine, the gingerbread, and the centuries of holiday traditions. So from festive markets to cozy vibes to architecture to culture and amazing company, this trip has it all. If you'd like to go along with me from December 7th through 14th, let me know if you would like to come. There is a $100 discount code. I will fill you in on that. So let's sip cocoa together under the lights, find some vintage treasures, and make some unforgettable memories. I hope that you can join me this December. Let me know if you want more information. So who's coming with me?